Good evening, everybody. It's nice to be here. This is going to be the second day for ESA Cup Season 5. Tonight it's just myself that's going to be on the mic, so I'm going to have a lot of talking on my own, but we're going to see if we can try and get a decent stream for you tonight. So tonight we're going to have Vods versus Native, and we'll have the map bans just coming up just shortly for you, and we'll get started with that, and we'll have a look at what we are looking at for the maps. So let me very quickly just open that up and we'll have a look and see. Now, map bans are just streaming in as we speak. Now, the first map ban there, I believe. Also, this is my first time just on production, so there might be a couple of wee hiccups here and there. It's just because, of course, this is the first time I've actually done it, so I'm pretty new to it, so just might make sure that I'm looking at the right ones. And I'm just waiting for another player to come in as well, so let me just open up the map bans, which I can't actually see just because it's so small, so bear with me a second while I get that. Okay, so first couple of bands that have been banned away there. We've got Skyscraper, Theme Park away as well, Villa, Oregon as well, the first couple of bands. Next couple will come through in just a moment. And we'll get a look at what's ready to go there. Clubhouse has went through as well. Now, I've been away from the scene a little bit, so I'm not familiar with what everything's playing like. So there could be a couple of different things in store for myself to see how maps are playing just now. And it looks like the map that we're going to be going to is Chalet. So, from what I remember, it was pretty attacker sided. From what I can see, going to be coming through as well. It looks like teams are deciding to go for the attacker sided kind of things as well. You got Native starting on the attack. You got Vods starting on the attack in overtime as well. So I'm not too surprised to see that. So it still looks like it's the same. Same idea as before. We're just waiting for one other player to get involved, and then we will get us underway. But like I said, Chalet is where we're heading to, and that is what we'll be seeing tonight. And like I say, I'm just going to apologise in advance just because I'm a wee bit rusty on those old spectating, and also this is the first time myself producing. Of course, I'm doing it all on my own tonight. I do have a little bit of help as well. That is Bose Max that's helping me as well, but in the background. So hopefully everything runs nice and smoothly. I know there were some server issues yesterday, which obviously we can only apologise for because that's unfortunately in the hands of Ubisoft, and we all know that there has been some issues as of late. So hopefully we'll get this game through and started just shortly. But like I say, we are just waiting on that to happen. So what I'll do is I can just discuss the map and the kind of teams and stuff like that. Now, like I said, I'm not as familiar with the teams just because I've been away from the scene a little while. This is only my second cast this year, and hopefully we're going to be on a lot more. I think coming up tomorrow as well, and there'll be some next week, and then pretty much the full duration. I'm going to be casting quite a lot, so you get to see us quite often. But we're just going to be having a look at this tonight. So Chalet, like I say, is the map we're going to. Pretty heavily attacker sided. Of course, you've got Solus that's actually in comp as well. Straight away, they've done away with all the the quarantining and stuff like that, so you can just play them straight away into comp. So you might see that tonight. We'll get onto the player bands as well, or the operator bands, and we'll have a look at what they decide to go with on those just shortly. Now what I'm going to do, just so that I can save my voice a little bit, because it's just me tonight, I'll just basically pop away for just a moment, and we'll get that looked at, okay? Welcome back. Thanks for holding on for a few minutes there. We were just waiting for another player to join in there, and we've now got it sorted. So they are now in the lobby, ready to go. We're queuing up. We're going to Chalet. We're going to be seeing what they have in store for us on this very attacker-sided map, and we are ready to go. So, starting off with these bands. We'll see what teams are going to go for what. Now, you have Vods, who are, of course, going to be getting started off with the bands, I believe. Let me just check. No, sorry, Native are the ones starting us off with the bands. And we'll get a look at what they are banning away. Jackal is the first one that goes of this map. Now, not too surprised to see Jackal go. Again, it is quite an attacker-sided map, so Jackal, great pick for obviously weeding out those roamers. And again, that's the best way really to counteract this aggression that'll come out on the attacker side of things, sweeping through the map. And you're going to want to ban one of those, hunter-killer operators off, just remove them from that lineup, just to make sure that they, you can bring out the aggression yourself and bounce back with it. Also as well, gone. I've seen quite a bit of pickup on ESA in recent times. Seen quite a lot of the ranked games, seen quite a lot of comp stuff like that as well. Very strong operator, of course. Any operator with a shield is always a good pick. They can always cause a nuisance and always brings a different dynamic. Valk as well is going to go. No longer can throw these cams outside of the map, but now still pretty strong. Of course, it's Valk. You can hide those anywhere. Those black eyes, you can pop them in behind lights and dark alleys. You can hide them, and that gives that information. And of course, information is king in this game. Of course, we'll see what the last ban that will be going away, and it will be Mozzie that is the final ban. Again, always a strong pick. Stops all of those drones coming in, and again, just counters off the intel there. So, pretty strong bans, pretty decent start. Nothing that would be too kind of catch us off guard. Nothing too wild, really. Not really want. Just kind of it's early days in the season, so the teams will just be feeling each other out a little bit and make sure that they don't take anything, show too much too early on. Apologies. Pick side of things, of course, talking about the attackers this early on in the pick phase is always too much of an issue because you can just change, no problem. They can, we can talk about it. I could talk about it all day about how the fact they brought Ayana and Thatcher and stuff like that, but all they could change onto another operator, of course, with the addition of the attacker repick. But on the defense, so those are set from the word go. So of course they are bringing along the Zami. Again, very strong pick at the moment. That gun that's in her hand, the SMG. It's such a strong gun, and it works well on Capcan. It works even better on his army when you can counteract any of those walls getting opened up. Mute as well on the board. That'll be just to prevent some of those drones. So they banned away the Mozzie, and we've also got the mute on the board as well. So they managed to get rid of one operator that at least can prevent the drones, but the mute will be coming in for the raid this round at least. Thunderbird again as well, also a strong operator to bring along. In terms of the setup, we're going to the top floor this time. And that'll be in the bedroom, and we'll see where these attackers are going to get us started from. They do start from the southwest side. It looks like they will be taken from the library side, which is the usual point of attack for most of the attacks that you'll see all along Chalet. This will be a highly contentious area throughout the matchup. It's of course the library. Native getting us started off with the drone, sending them in. Nomad is in charge of that. Ping's coming out to see if they can find these players. Of course, there is one player on the shield, that's Philip, playing at the top of that square staircase, and Native as well now beginning the pressure in towards library. Downstairs as well, though, the pulse is down there, and it's Relucta that's able to pick up the first pick onto Philip onto that top area now. There will be a player just popping in there to replace them. It is Farkin that is able to do that and drops into that same place that Philip was playing, where he was dropped out. I think he dropped off the top floor and was able to be picked off there. And now Rook is coming in from below. Now, I do apologise if I'm butchering any of the names here, so there are quite a few Dutch people in the lobby, so I think that I will probably mess up a few of them. Now, they know that the pulse is down here, they know the Zam's on the staircase as well, pushes up, finds another one there, that's 3-5 on the board here, and there's still one downstairs. Rise is able to pick that up, that's Firkin dealt with, and now it's the pulse as well, shut down, Dreams finds Kleins, and it's 1 versus 5. All of a sudden, it all falls apart here, and it's just the mute that's left, and they're just starting to stream in to the Giano area, and the last one, Dreams finds the real Stoney and shuts that down on what's a pretty big roller over of a matchup there, or sorry, round even, as they're able to steamroll through that entire map and deal with them with little to no hassle. Now, like I said, a little bit rusty on the old spectating, so things I might not fight the action and stuff like that, or and a little bit rusty on my casting as well, actually, to be honest. So you definitely won't get the Eminem style, won't take a breath style stuff from me tonight. It's a little bit slower, a little bit more composed, and make sure that I remember my P's and Q's. But we're going to go for a retry on the top floor and to the office and bedroom site. Change things up though, a couple of different operators brought along. We have the Thorn on side. This is just to slow things down a little bit because they were really, really quick on the push there. They did pinch right down into the site as quick as they possibly could. They got the first opening pick straight up the staircase and they're able to get themselves a couple of kills. and that is probably what they are going to be wary of this time there. I don't see the shield getting placed yet at the top of the mezzanine staircase, but it looks like it will go down in a slightly unorthodox position from last time. They've dropped the Azami this time in favour of bringing, of course, that Thorn, and they've also brought along the Oryx for Philip, who will presumably be allowed a little bit more freedom outside of the map and be able to move around and find themselves a little bit of action. So what we'll do is we'll have a look at where Philip's going to go for a little bit of adventure, see if he's going to move around the map or if he's just going to stay up here now. I think that he just made his decision, but it looks like a flip has come around here. They went for a different push this time as Rise goes from the other side. That's moving up through towards the... Oh, see, this is where we're going to try to remember the calls. I've not played in so long. But Philip is there actually to contest it outside the bedroom. I think they're aware of the fact that they potentially switched this push from the library side. Of course, we were, used to seeing that library one. It's a very common thing to push in from. But down on the bottom floor, you see that Rook and Dreams have got a double act going down below. And you can see the Jaeger, the real Stone, is probably thinking about going for a little bit of a flank potentially to come up from beneath inside the trophy. But Furkin is the one that's on that Solar there. Solar, that's the call, I remember now. And Kleins is down, but there's another one to go off the board as well. Zaro finds Kleins, and Rise finds Furkin on that stairs there. And that's such a hard name to pronounce without sounding rude. As Rook moves up the staircase there as well now to try contest on towards Philip here, and upside down repel as well for Rise at the same time on that window into Solar there. A couple of nades coming in there just to try and flush them out as Rise pushes up now, and that will be the Nomad moving in, but the real Stone is on the other side holding off and joining their teammate, but can he win the gunfight? Managed to get quite a bit of damage onto both operators there as the real Stoney comes out, and a little bit worse for wear, but Philip finds Relect there on the staircase there now. Silverdino is still just patiently waiting inside the closet, finds one. The patient game works there as Dreams finds real Stoney rotating out of sight, and the swing comes round here and can he find one. Silverdino finds two. It's a 2 versus 1 situation, just has to find a couple extra kills and bring his teams back into this. Zaro and Rise are the opposing operators that are waiting on this staircase, just holding on. Zero cam's going out, they've slowed it down a bit. They could have just decided to push in and bring that aggression, continue it through, but they've just taken that a second just to collect themselves and just hold out for a second because there's a minute left on the clock. Silverdino just going to play the patient game, waiting out. A couple of flicks out there just to see where they are. Going to have to face check everything because they don't have the information that they need on the whereabouts of this attacker side. Rise and Zaro still... You can see the drone moving up the top of your screen. They're moving in behind Silverino, but that's probably going to find the information that it needs, and it does find the information that it needs inside of office. Now they know the gig is up, and Silverino is going to be under the pressure though, but does he know which part of the map that they're going to come from? The plant goes down, but somehow Zaro's able to get the flick out there and find Silverino, just not able to react in time, and that'll be another one. The bait and switch does work, and that will be another round going towards the attacking side of Native. Now, do they change? Do they just decide to stay with that same place? Do they change it up, move to another area of the map? It looks like they probably will. Baron Gaming looks like the place we're going to be going to. Of course, they're going to have to change a couple of things in terms of the lineup here. The attackers as well deciding to change things up as well, bring along the knock. But like I say, it's not too much of a thing to talk about on what the attackers say because they might change things up. You'll likely see the Ace stay and the Nomad as well, of course, just to make sure that no flanks can be coming off that. Twitch as well, still a strong pick, so they will probably be coming along for the ride throughout this one as well. But Baron Gaming is where we're going this time, and the main changes anyway that come throughout in this one is Philip going on to the Wamai. The Mira's coming in. Not too surprised to see the Mira on this one as well. Baron Gaming is a very strong Mira map, should I say, site, if that's the word I'm looking for. Wow, drawing a blank on the word there. But yeah, they are going for a defense of library upstairs. Not surprised to see this. An extension out onto Mez might happen as well. You can see that Furkin is putting down some mute jammers there just to prevent that Mira window from being destroyed so easily. Kleins 8 has also brought along the Frost as well. No one's inside the site though. We have Silverdino on the roam outside, who's the only one that's provided at least some semblance of a fight back for the side of Boobats. But you can hear that barricade being broken. Rook's going to be looking for Silverdino and surely is going to find them. Yes, they'll be weeded out there and will have to move and get themselves out of that situation. But look at the cross there from Dreams, who holds onto it with the Ash and is able to take the head clean off of Silverdino will not be able to make any kills on this match here. But another one though, Furkan has left the game. I believe they were down there, so I don't know what the situation was for that, so we'll revisit that in a moment. But Kleins is going to be picked up as well. This time it's going to be Relect that's dealt with it. Bizarro's up on the window here, putting pressure onto the mirror window that I think is being played currently by Stoney just at the moment, playing on that mirror window. You can see Phillips came upstairs to join them, and it's a 2 versus 5 situation here. It looks like Native are just steamrolling it through the map as quick as they possibly can. These attacks are moving in quick. You'll see the cross coming out there, but 1 versus 5 as Dreams finds Phillip now, and it's surely there could be something, but no, Dreams is able to find Stoney, and that will be another round going towards Native. Now, do we have people joining back? Yes, we have back, so we don't have to pause anything. They're ready to go, so it's okay. Native though have managed to get 3 opening round wins, no problem. It's not even by an eye really. Silverdino's the only one that's put up any form of fight, and that was in the second round. Was able to get a couple of kills and even potentially got himself in a clutch situation, but just wasn't able to get the right formula to get that done. Now, another change, of course, they're going to go for the full rotation this time down to Wine Cellar, bring that down. Now this, at one point in the game, was one of the strongest sites there could be. Now with the changes to Chalet, is not as strong as what it used to be. A couple things moved around just to make it a bit easier to attack than what it used to be. But we'll see if that makes any difference now, because of course Native are off to a flying start with their attacks. Now 3 rounds flush, and that'll be... Bubats will be hoping though that they can try and at least fight back a little bit and provide some form of resistance to the ever coming onslaught of Native. Changes again, it seems like they are just flipping around these operators. No one's staying in the same boots twice. It seems like Jaeger's moved around a couple of times, with Thunder were moving operators as well. It seems like, of the organisation at least for both teams, it seems as though Native have more of that at the moment, because it looks like it's almost ranked strats that are coming out from Bubats, who are just bringing on some different operators just to try and bring some flavour to their rounds to see if they can try and get some inroads into the rest of this matchup. Drone coming out from the IQ, that's Rise moving to the back of that site just now. It looks like that will be the main avenue of attack, and I think probably they'll open up the main wall as well around the other side. You see Dreams has opened that up quite easily with the Thermite. They got rid of the mute off the wall, no problem, and they were able to open that up. So they'll probably just have one player stationed out here just to try and provide a little bit of a nuisance to the players that will move around and make them uncomfortable in their own site. Now, switching over to the other side, you can see that Zaro and also Rise are now starting their move in towards the basement hallway. You can see that Relict is there as well. We have 3 members inside of the map now. Outside, Zaro is doing the droning for the team, and Farkan is the one that's going to be under pressure here. Has a C4 in hand, but this is beautifully timed. Can he land anything with it? No, unfortunately it does not hit its mark. Turns her back and decides to pull back a little bit just to get himself into a safer position, because they know that the pressure will begin to come. That back end wall is now opened up, so there will be some squirming happening here, but reaction time is not quite on point for Farkan, that somehow loses that one out to Rook there. Is able to find them, and Rise again is also going to find Stoney, and now it's a 3 versus 5, and just like that it could descend into chaos, and surely the plant will be coming in eventually. 2 versus 5 as Dreams is the one to watch so far in this matchup. Now switching across to his point of view, but he's been dealt with as Rook finds Kleins, and Silverdino finds Dreams as well. Rook now moving through in toward the blue hallway. The plant is going down, but Relect is able to find Silverdino, and that'll be another round so easily found from Native, so easily found that no one even knows where to look. I don't even know where to spectate. It's been happening that quick, because they're all just collapsing in on each other and closing down that site. 4-0 for Native, who've started off with an absolutely furious start on this map of Chalet. Now, this is where it comes in a tricky situation, because they've done the full rotation really of the main sites. They do have one other site that's not being played, that's Kitchen, but of course some teams, will have a preference between Mother Bar or Kitchen, and usually they're never gonna play, the other one. They'll just play whatever one they're comfortable with, and that's usually it. So usually you're looking at a 3-site rotation in the top floor, one of the sites in the middle floor, and then the bottom floor. But they went with Bar and Gaming again, and they've interestingly enough not brought the Mira this time. They've decided to go for the Echo. Now that's a little bit of a strange pick, I think, for the change, because they've switched from an operator that can provide you with those power positions and an overwatch, I guess, to the areas that will be pressurised the most, to an operator that's intel heavy, that is very much, you want your Echo to be out of the game for the most part, on the cams, working those information and preventing plants and stuff like that. They brought along the Oryx. Like I say, these operators are changing hands quite often. It doesn't seem to be a set formula for this team at the moment. Silverdino's now on the Oryx. It was Philip beforehand and they moved that around, but Philip is on the Wamai this time. Clancy's brought along the Thunderbird, and the Real Stone is downstairs on the Echo, with Silverdino out on the roam with Farkin as well. The Capcan coming inside as well, so that will set up some traps. Again, just to slow these operators down for the attacking side of Native. They're on the upside down rappel just now on a trophy. Have an angle there. It's a nice angle there, and you can't quite see it because of the outline, but there is a wall blocking that player from being spotted, but the angle's still being held by Rook. They know there's a player inside the kitchen, and surely the pinch will begin to come. Dream seems to be the one to watch for us at the moment, entering and getting a decent start there. 5-4 though. Farkin though is able to find Zaro, and that opens up the picks and opens up this round on the top floor, puts the diffuser cold on that top floor. Now Farkin is the one on Trophy Staircase, and swings out again, but not enough to fight off the onslaught that comes in from Dreams, who hops in the window and doesn't realise there's still another one inside the kitchen, and it's Silverdino to find that pick. Just going to pull all the way back to site and decides that nope, I don't want anything to do with that. I've managed to get the top fragging player off their roster, and I'm going to head back home and play it safe. Now, there was a down to come out as well, if it's a P-place C4, or was it just a Capcan trap? Likely a Capcan trap on the top floor that downed and takes Rook all the way down to 20 HP, so that will be something to keep in mind for them. Brings out the Flores drones as well, which is a nice pick. Again, can flush out some of these defenders, and we'll be able to pretty much deal with that shield right away, and that flushes out Cleansy right away, who was able to knock up any fight towards losing their shield there. Now has to hop into that cupboard area just above the hatch. Philip's on the bottom floor still, just moving around inside of sight just to try and see if there's anyone moving around outside to come and go for them. Cleansy's going to find Relect as well, and I believe, I don't actually see where that came from, where Cleansy found that. I think he found that on the top floor. I think someone swung out into the piano, would sound right. Yep, the diffuser's down cold on the side of the piano. That's what happened. The Rise finds Philip though on the bottom floor, and actually finds him from mezzanine at the top here, and finds another one. It's a double kill, a triple kill comes out from Rise, and it's a 1 versus 2, and Native swing it all the way back into their hands, just like that. Triple, massively found from Rise, and it's a 1 versus 2 now. Stoney downstairs hasn't even flinched. He knows he has the Echo drones, but the IQ's on side to deal with it. Does Stoney know that they have that? The drones are flying in to try and flush him out, moving around inside the gaming, and has to hold onto one of these hatches to make sure that no one can drop down through. But Rook is the one with the diffuser in hand. Already in, it's going down. The sound cue surely is there. Rise is on the cover. Can he see the other player? Can he get himself a 4K on the round? Sees the player behind the headshot. No! Just misses, but somehow lands it. Yes! The reaction wasn't there from Stoney, and it's a 4K on the round from Rise. And that's another round that should have been in the hands of Boobats, but instead goes towards Native, who takes the astonishing 5 rounds in a row on the second evening of ESA Cup. Now, wow, we'll just relax for a minute there. So let's just chill out. We all got carried a bit carried away there, but it's just the height. It's just so good that 3K that came through there, and then ended up being a 4K in the end. Absolutely brilliant round there that came out from Rise. And Native looked as though the Boobats were getting themselves into it. It looked as though they had done the work, they'd changed it, they'd caught them off guard. A couple of roam plays that worked out really well, and it looked as though that was going to be it. They were activated. We're going to start seeing them getting into this, but no, the motivation will have been killed off a little bit, at least from Native at the hands of Rise with a 1.5 on IQ. Now, again, we've decided to go to the same site. Of course, this is where we've seen the most success. That round was the most convincing we've seen from Boobats. But they've changed things up again. They're really fluid with these operators. They haven't once really stuck to the same roster throughout it. They're bringing along the Frost. They've dropped the Capcan, which actually done a decent job. It was able to get quite a bit of damage off onto the Flores the last time, but this time they decided to change it up. Bringing along Wamai, it seems to be a mainstay. Thunderbird as well. Alibi this time's coming along, which is a bit different, and the Maestro for the first time in this matchup. Now, it seems as though they want to have at least some sort of info, and that's why they brought along this. The 4 versus 5, though, Rook finds Cleansy in the opening pick there, in the opening engagement, but there's already 3 players pressuring onto Library. They know that there is no one to contest this, but Silverdino is the next one to fall, and somehow there's action happening down on the bottom floor as Rook's able to find that. I don't even know where to look here. It's all happening everywhere. Seems as though all over the map, people are just falling and Rise is dealt with. Won't be able to get a 4K this time, but we've slowed down there after our opening couple of engagements, and his dreams to move up the staircase from the library and try and get himself a cheeky little back in roll. Rook, though, is able to find himself another one onto the real Stoney upstairs on the top floor. Philip, though, is dealt with inside the site, and now it's Firkin who is left in a 1 versus 4 situation. The clutch could come up here, but doesn't land the shots. Unfortunately, is not able to control that alibi. Recoil leaving, and they are gonna have to try and go for a rotate all the way around. The plant is down. There's 42 seconds on the clock, and they're gonna have to try and make a move here. Firkin has 4 players to try and get themselves through before they can get even a sniff at that diffuser, but they're not even going to move yet. They're just waiting for the players to come through. Dreams, of course, as hungry as ever, is going to be coming through the map here, trying to come through the basement and find where the players. They know that the players are on the bottom floor. The pinch will come out in just a second, so it looks as though they're going to be stuck, and Zaro knows where they are. They'll pinch from one side, but is able to get one. Rook finds eventually on a Firkin. I think they actually managed to kill each other at the same time as the other player. Yep, pinch came out, alibi dealt with, pretty much didn't react, and this could be the first 7-0 of the league. Or cup, should I say. Match point, of course, going to native, but the big thing here is they are changing on to the defense. Now, I did say before that Chalet is, in fact, you know, letting the secret, it's an attacker side of the map. We've just seen attackers win 6 in a row, and this could be a if we can do it, you can do it situation, or if you can do it, we can do it. But we'll see. I just don't think Boobats have been convincing enough in their picks. They haven't put the confidence in me, they haven't put the confidence in them. They clearly don't have confidence in themselves because they're not picking the same operators. They're not, it doesn't seem like they have a cohesive plan for this setup here. But pretty standard attack formation from them. You see the ace coming out, at least they have one of the hard breach operators. They brought along the Thatcher because it is open. Thatcher, you know, quite commonly banned, but you've seen that pick rate drop a little bit with the addition of the EMP grenades, so it's not as needed as much. Now, Mira, of course, coming along for the ride on the bar one. So it's Baron Gaming that they decide to go for. Mira, again, is a strong pick for this. We've seen that picked in the first attempt at this from Boobats, but they're bringing it along this time for the first round of native ones. And you like to see a Mira window placed in that top floor in that little cubby hole there where Rook is playing just now. Now, the round starts, and we've got a little bit of a split here with 3 players moving towards the solar side of things. You've got Stoney on the other side, and Cleansy as well down there. Rise on the staircase inside of Trophy knows that there's going to be someone sniffing around the side, and you can see that being opened up, and the drones will start to flood in, and will presumably hop in. You see the Iana drone drop in there, but there's someone on the coverage from Rise. Doesn't actually realise that that's the Iana drone, or potentially did know that, but just wanted to get rid of it there. But swings out there, and Firkin there on the cover, and there is the 1.5 to find its first victim off of Twitch's Firkin, and finds Rise. Now, Rise, of course, has been one of the heavy hitters for native, so hopefully that will instill a little bit of confidence into the gameplay of Boobats, who start to flood themselves into the map here and move towards Trophy and Solar side for a push through from that angle. Cleansy's on the balcony as well, has the drone in hand, and will just look to guide their players through into piano, through kitchen, or sorry, through bathroom, all the way through piano and up towards office, and that will be where they begin to constrict down onto the site. Now, Rook is the one to hold on to the little cubby hole above, well, it's called library entrance, but I wouldn't call it that, to be honest. It's just outside the library, a little kind of compartment that they're in just now. Sends out an impact grenade just to try and prevent that wall from being opened up, but Relexus opted to move, well, actually it looked like they were moving in towards the library, but actually instead decided to just shoot a drone and drop back there. But Cleansy is able to find Dreams on the staircase, and that's the 2 heavy hitters gone for native, and it looks as though this is the first time they're actually going to feel a little bit of pressure and a little bit of breath from Boobats down the back of their neck here, as Philip takes a little bit of a damage here, and you can see that Rook's now moved towards Mez to hold on to this top square area. Now, there is a little bit of a stall here, just as Boobats find himself in a situation where they've managed to get rid of 2 players. The push comes up from Ace this time, all the way up. Real Stoney is trying to find the player, sees the head, but can't quite find the shot, and eventually does, threads the needle right into the skull of Relect, and it's a 5 versus 2 situation. Is this going to be the first round on the board for Boobats, who are able to get themselves into a 2 versus 5 situation? The drone comes out to try and find the other player, but Zaro knows he's there, swings up, finds one. That's unfortunate for Stoney, and it came down to a 2 versus 4 situation. Zaro's upstairs and doesn't know that there's a player. I think that player's actually outside on the window. I don't think they're actually there, but they are able to find it. The cover is there from Cleansy. It's a double kill though, comes up from then, and Rook is able to find Firkin as well, and now it's a 1 versus 3, which is very much doable for Rook, who's on 8 kills, 1 death, and has the potential here for a big clutch to win the round and the game for native. Now, where do they go from here though? Boobats though have the upper hand here, but no, there's not going to be anything coming through for Rook, as Cleansy is able to have that on lock, has the door already covered, and there'll be no movement coming up from Rook And finally, Bubats get themselves on the board in this matchup. Now, I'm hearing that there was a little bit of a prediction done, and it's pretty even. It's pretty even. 7 votes, 7 for Bubats, 8 for Nev. I'll keep it a secret what I voted for. Let's just say my channel points aren't looking safe at the moment.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused.
6-1, another match point though, and it looks as though Bubats have finally been activated. The pressure has finally got to them enough for them to actually respond. It just took a match point for them to actually get us a little bit of action and a little bit. It looked as though they had a plan from the start there. It looked as though they had something in the works from the get-go. And like I said, it is an attacker-sided map, so I'm not surprised to see another attacking round on the board. But do I think it's enough? We still have a 5-round deficit to try and clear up. They need to be really good, and they need to make sure that they are dotting their I's and crossing their T's to make sure that everything is absolutely perfect on this next attack to keep them within the distance of Native, who've already carved out what could be a Brazil scoreline if they win this round. Now, the picks in terms of Native side of things, they brought along that Thorn, they brought along the Azami. Again, I'm not surprised to see Azami. Thorn as well will just be looking to slow down the attacker side of things because, of course, the attackers just seem to... The same, Native did exactly the same on their attacks, and it looks as though Bubats are doing the same on theirs. It looks as though as soon as they get themselves a pick, they're just activated. They start to flush in and start getting these players and trying to find the gunfights. Klein's on the top floor doing a little bit of drone action. And it looks as though that is where they are going to be trying to get an avenue of push coming through. They're trying to clear out the top floor though, but a little bit of damage done onto Stony, which I think is just electricity damage there. There's a player on the top floor there just to try meleeing that window, just to say that, you know what, there is someone here, by the way, so you're going to have to think about it. Rook, though, is in a horrible position here, or could be a good position, depending on if they can get out of it and get at least a couple, maybe a kill out of it, but nope, not able to land any shots onto the thermite outside the breach. Is able to get themselves to a safe zone, though, away from where they were originally. Now, there isn't much roam game. In fact, there's no roam game at all. The nearest to the outside of the site you can see is Reluct at the top there. Now, again, apologise if I'm saying some of these names wrong. I might be saying people's names wrong, but this is what it is. Coming down the staircase over Reluct to get lucky. The flash comes out though, and that will flush him out though, and now it's Kleinsy that's in the engagement now, pushing down the 1.5 in hand, and will look to try and get rid of the player that is playing on the blue staircase. Instead decides to pull off, and Reluct is left to their own devices inside of that staircase. Now, still no movement really on the inside of this site, as Rook is the most aggressive for the defenders here, but Relect is able to push up staircase and finds Philip there, and it will pay off there on the other side inside the blue staircase, and surely there's going to be someone to try and react to that, but there's more of a movement coming out here from Rook here, who is able to get all the way up the staircase here and shoots off the Nomad. Kind of land his shots as a 3 versus 5 situation. Farcom is not paying attention to the fact that someone could come up that staircase and shut down the sledge there. Swings out there, but no, Stoney's there to shut him down, but is traded straight out from Dreams, and the push comes down again. Dreams again with a double kill. Just absolutely good nights. Kleinsy coming down the staircase, not enough. Pushes up again and finds that defenders win the round. Native and Dreams with an absolute scorcher this evening after what looked like a potential inroad back into the match for Bubats. They were brutally shut down there from Dreams, and that will be all she wrote for this one, and it will be all over for this one. Native take the map, take the game, and all the points go to them. What a game that was. What a game that was. Chalet was an opener for me, my first one in this league for quite some time, and it's been an absolute pleasure for having absolute beautiful siege played out here. Dreams with a scorcher at the end there. Amazing stuff just to finish it off. 7-1 on Chalet to Native there. The Brazil scoreline, it looked as though Bubats could potentially get into it, but they just were not able to get themselves up and running quick enough to get into this matchup. A couple of flashes of brilliance here and there, but just not enough to deal with the onslaught that Native put out towards them. Looked as though Native had this in the bag from the get-go, but that was pretty solid siege. Good siege to start with, and that will be it from me this evening. I'll be back on tomorrow. Hopefully I'll have someone with me this time. I think Bozmax will be joining me tomorrow night, so we'll have 2 of us for a couple of bangers as well. This is the only game on tonight. The other game was unfortunately cancelled, just through to a couple of different reasons. Just me tonight. Thanks for joining in. It's been great to be back, and yeah, you guys enjoy the rest of your night. Thanks for watching.